The University of Detroit Mercy presents another brand new episode of Ask the Professor, the radio show on which you match wits with University of Detroit Mercy professors in an unrehearsed session of questions and answers. Today's program was recorded using Zoom video conferencing technology.
The University Tower chimes, ringing another session of Ask the Professor, the show on which you match wits with the University of Detroit Mercy professors in an unrehearsed session of questions and answers. I'm your host, Matt Mio, and let me introduce to you our panel for today. We can see him, but he's not moving. It's Professor Jeffe Boats.
Hey, how's it going?
Jeff, we're so sorry to hear of your recent illness and so good to hear your voice to know that you're on the mend.
Yeah, I got the Omicron.
You are on the mend,
I'm not on the mend. No, I actually just got diagnosed yesterday, so the worst of it might be to come. But if this ends up being my last podcast ever, it was an honor to serve with you people.
We will avenge your death.
Perish the thought.
We're not thinking about that. Okay.
I'll be fine. I'm vaxxed. I'm boosted. I'm not that old. I'm going to be okay.
Well, physically at least. Mentally, well.
I'll be less damaged. I won't be any more damaged afterwards mentally. Let's put it that way.
Oh, good.
That's looking on the right side.
That's the spirit.
That's optimism.
The ever-flowing font of optimism on this show is, of course, Professor Dan Maggio in the middle of my screen today.
A flowing font of what?
Who?
Optimism.
Optimism? Okay. Yes. Hi, Matt. And everybody. Happy Friday.
So now that you know that we're actually on YouTube, what are you going to do differently?
Not talk.
It does kind of defeat the point.
I didn't realize that. Now I have a little bit of stage fright. But nothing different. Maybe maybe I might put up a free advertisement in the back from time to time.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Yep. Don't forget, Dan, you can begin the countdown. Ash Wednesday is around the corner, and you know what that means. The return to fish fries.
Fish Friday. Yes.
Fun things will happen very soon.
One of my favorite times of the year. Thank you for reminding me.
Mm-hmm. Something's got to carry us through this. Am I allowed to say god-awful winter?
Yes.
Right now? Absolutely horrific. Someone who is the opposite of horrific, whatever that is Professor Mara Livezey.
Oh, that's great to know.
We haven't even had like that bad of a winter, even weather-wise. So it's been cold every once in a while. New York City's going to get 2 feet of snow in the next 48 hours.
Why don't we get 2 feet of snow? Like, what is this?
It's the lake effect on the opposite side. Yeah.
It's a filthy tease.
I still thought it was weird, though, Mara, that we had like a solid 10 hours of flaky, and then you go outside and it's like 2 inches. You're like, great. The distance that people can drive with sliding in snow like that is just like at least 40 feet, like sliding all around.
Mm-hmm. My favorite part of winter driving, actually.
You love to go into parking lots and fishtail in your car, don't you?
I was forced to do that when I was learning to drive, and it scared the bleep out of me.
Yeah.
Poor little 15-year-old me.
Oh,
come on. What's the worst thing that could happen?
Well, Dan and I can tell you that you can skid a lot more accurately and a little bit farther if you got a couple of sweepers in front of you.
Yes. This is true.
It's time to get ready for the Winter Olympics. They are, speaking of only a few days away, definitely only a few days away. Professor Beth Oljar is here with us. Texting me the other day, Beth, you're like, now, Matt, we seriously are going back in person on Monday, right?
Well, we hadn't heard anything, so
I know.
I assumed no news was good news. But
no, you're so right. You're so right. It's just, Beth, I've used you as an example, although not like the primary example. It's just I've received a lot of messages over the last few days, and I'm sure a lot of these people have too. It wasn't really superly clearly communicated. And then I had students lining up virtually saying, well, the first of the month is Tuesday, so that's the first day we're back in person, right? I'm like, where did that come from? It's just so confusing. So confusing.
Pam sent out another email not too long ago.
Yes.
Dear Titan, yes, reminder.
Not sure I
You're back.
identify as a Titan.
Yes. I assume that we're going to have a nice honeymoon week next week, Beth, and then it's pretty much all downhill from there, right? So
Well, I'm looking forward to
I'm
that.
thinking positive.
We know what Eric Cartman would say.
Oh God, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
You would add a few more words onto the end of it, but yeah, exactly. Last but not least, he's been up for 10 years straight. It's Professor Dave Chow.
Pleasure to be here as opposed to working my fingers to the bone. Oh,
This man has been working 20 plus hours a day
for the last 4 or 5 days.
I don't know how you're doing it.
I don't know either. All I know is 7-Eleven at 3:30 in the morning is desolate as could be.
I can only imagine.
Well, he actually has had a psychotic break. I think that's, we're seeing exactly what happens when you work 20 hours a day for 5 days straight or
no shower, no food, no nothing. I feel as though I'm on Survivor right about now.
Did you march into that 7-Eleven and put your fists on your hips and go, give me your finest microwave burrito? What are you doing at that time?
I'm literally picking up their version of Gatorade, a bag of chips, and anything I can get my grubby hands on at that point.
My gosh.
I'm desperate.
Wow.
I'm crusty. I'm cranky. I smell funny right about now. All those adjectives.
Yeah, I'm giving a Beth finder's fee on we're all covered with grumpy dust. I think that pretty much covers all the bases. It's beautiful, actually. It's poetry.
I have a magnet on my refrigerator, Dan will confirm, that says, who sprinkled you with grumpy dust?
I think I'm pooping grumpy dust right about now.
I just thought it pretty much summarizes, how some of us feel.
Yes.
Yes.
But tell you what, folks, this is a program. You can send us questions regarding anything. It's been a while since we've had some questions on grumpiness in general. If you stump the panel, you win a prize. If you don't stump the panel, you win a prize. You can send us the questions in a number of ways. You can email us at atp@udmercy.edu. Find us on the Facebook, sometimes called Meta, or Instagram, or listen on your favorite smart speaker by asking it to play Ask the Professor at University of Detroit Mercy. Okie doke, it's been a while, but let's do this thing. Dear professors, you've just arrived at part 8 to our long-held saga of a student challenging a panel of higher education staff. Once again, you are up against another volley of questions that I set before you. As you travel through them, oh wow, there are those that you will get by pretty well, and others that will make it feel like deep chasms trying for you all to brave. I ask you and all listeners, quote, who shall make it through and who shall win? It's up to you. Oh, you who have noggins and nerves of steel, bold enough to take on my brains, from me, I wish you well. And that's, of course, Natalie Bohe, Detroit Mercy alumna 2011 from Sterling Heights, Michigan. So let's see what we can do with the questions that she has sent in. All right. Actress, singer Barbra Streisand played a young Jewish woman disguised as a young man who would study the Talmud in this 1983 film adaptation of a play of the same name. Yentl, that's right. Absolutely.
When I got my letters saying I had been accepted to graduate school, I listened to that entire soundtrack.
Wow.
I love that movie. I'm a huge Streisand fan. So I own that movie as well, but the music is particularly good.
Nice. Oh my, we don't need any more bad news. One of the following will no longer be manufactured into 2022 as a Lindt chocolate truffle. Which flavor has been discontinued? Coconut, peanut butter, citrus.
Oh, citrus, I hope.
Probably citrus, my guess.
Probably citrus.
It better not be peanut butter.
Maybe coconut.
It says here it's peanut butter, Dan.
Oh,
I'm so
what?
very sorry.
What a
Yeah.
perfect combination.
Allergies? Is that what it is, possibly?
It's probably an allergy thing.
But also, if you've got Reese's, they do seem to have kind of cornered the chocolate peanut butter market.
Mhm.
Yummy.
Look at that.
I've survived on these.
Oh my gosh. Someone cooked that man a home cooked meal. Hey, professors. This popular 3D endless running video game was created by Keith Shepard and Natalia Lukanova, with art included from Kirill Chachkov. What game is it?
Tetris.
Minecraft.
3D.
It's a popular 3D endless running video game. That's your clue.
Endless running.
So Super Mario or something like that.
This was popular early 2010s, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
Is it a shoot 'em up?
It is not. In the game,
the one where there's three tracks and you shift left and right to avoid things and pick up coins. I don't know what the name of that thing is though.
What? It's called 696. Oh.
No. No, in this game, I'm probably giving too much away. I believe it's sort of a general trope. You're in a jungle and you're jumping over animals and logs.
Pitfall?
Oh, I don't remember what it's called.
Not Frogger.
That was like a phone.
It was a phone game.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah.
What was it called? Maze? No, not Maze.
No.
And by the way, Pitfall
something
was
short.
much earlier than the 2010s.
Yes.
But it certainly sounded kind of like Pitfall.
I think that Mara's getting the closest, even
I
if we can't
know
put our
what it's
finger
called.
on
Is
it.
it Jungle Runner or something like that?
Very, very
Oh,
close.
it's something like that.
The game is called Temple Run. You're trying to get to
Temple
this
Run, okay.
temple and get the treasures on the inside. And if my 14-year-old were here, somehow he's just getting into the trope of sounding like the grizzled Harrison Ford. He will walk into a room, pick up an object, and go, "This belongs in a museum."
But
And I'm like, you're not even close. You got to walk into the room and say, "Get off of my plane." Now that's Harrison Ford. Which
But not-
household
yeah.
which household ingredient is considered the Achilles heel for spiders? Here's a hint. It can also be used as a cleaning liquid.
was it vinegar? Lye?
Yeah, it's any acid, any household acid. Vinegar. Spiders can't stand it. Yes. Mhm. Also applies to acids that can be found in citrus. Oh my gosh, where does Natalie find these
but wait a
unbelievable
minute.
questions?
If you have a chemical burn, I'm trying to think of the Fight Club thing. Isn't vinegar better than
Lye, counteracts the
water
lye,
or
yeah.
something?
Yeah, they wanted. Do you want to put water on it, or do you want to neutralize it with the acid? That's what it was. Yeah.
Oh,
Which, by the
okay.
way, comes with its own problems, but we'll talk about that later.
Can't we just cauterize and be done with? Oh,
How many grains of sugar comprise 1 teaspoon on average?
A lot.
To say
Partial credit.
4,300.
What was it, Dan?
4,300.
Oh, it's quite a bit more.
20,000.
23,005.
Sugar.
I'll guess about 300,000.
100,000.
So
Jeff, you've shot the moon. You've gone over.
Oh,
100,000.
It's less.
What kind of sugar are we talking about? Confectionery or
50,000.
Granulated. Just
All right.
regular-
I would have told you if it was sanding sugar. Those crystals are bigger.
candy sugar, which is like-
should I just call up Kendra and just be done with?
Professors, it's approximately 77,000 grains
Oh,
of sugar
man.
in a teaspoon. Yeah. That's a lot.
I'm
That's a
gonna
lot.
I'm gonna disprove that tonight.
All I can
What-
think of when I think of like maybe having that teaspoon and tweezers and like removing each one and counting it is my introduction to the world of crankiness. Ooh, it's becoming a theme. Was it Andy Rooney on 60 Minutes? Remember back in the day? And he was so upset because he had purchased a toothbrush that bragged about how many bristles it had. So he cut them all off and counted them, and they were off by 10,000 or something. That is a
Off what,
unbelievable
short
level.
of or over?
It was short. It was
Oh.
short. Yeah, he had to contact the manufacturer.
I really appreciated his expose on how many licks it took to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
I'm waiting for the hard hitting expose on Subway being short 1 foot too. So
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember
Professors?
what it was he was criticizing, but at one point he said he was talking about something, and then he said, "That's like putting vitamins in gin."
There's no, I mean, seriously, even if you put your brain to work for about 30 seconds, tell me a curmudgeon that's at that level of curmudgeonliness in the modern world.
He was the top for sure.
Yeah, he was the guy. Professors.
I got one. Lewis Black.
Oh, that's true.
Ooh,
okay,
yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. The modern curmudgeon.
Who was hilarious.
Who is funny. Very funny. Props, this Detroit brand was founded in 1893. It has its flagship store behind the Fisher and a catchy but sentimental jingle in its TV advertisements.
Behind the Fisher? Is it shoes? Not shoes.
Verner's used to be back there.
It's not Verner's.
Better Made.
Nope.
That's on Gratiot.
I was thinking Shinola, but the only catchphrase I can think of involving Shinola, I don't want to say here.
What about Faygo?
No, it's funny that you all, because we always do, went to foodstuffs. Oh, it's actually apparel.
It's furs.
Oh, okay.
It's who?
It's
Dan got it.
It's furs. I can't remember.
It's Dietrich Furs.
Right.
Dietrich Furs. Yes.
Are they still? I don't know if they're still.
Yeah, they're still there.
They're still there. Oh. That jingle, which every red-blooded Detroiter, both born here or adopted, knows, was the entire basis for the television show Detroiters, and everybody here should go watch Detroiters on any streaming service.
You mean people here don't, ski in full-length furs? I mean, come on. or ride Appaloosa ponies in thigh-deep snow with a fur coat on?
On May 23rd, 1953, Sir Edmund Hillary and, of course, his Nepalese companion, Tenzing Norgay, made the first successful climb to the top of Mount Everest, the world's highest mountain above sea level. How high is this peak in either feet or meters?
Was it like 29,000 feet about?
That's exactly correct, Jeff. Yeah, 29,029 feet. Very well done. Very, very well done.
That's twice the height of Mount Rainier, I think.
And just a little taller than Pine Knob. Or as I call it, the Michigan ice nipple. So.
But be careful of the Shinola things you say.
Yes.
If you lived in Southeast Michigan in the mid-19th century, how long would it take you to get to the outskirts of Detroit from Sterling Heights by horse-drawn carriage?
Wait a minute. Sterling Heights is in the outskirts of Detroit.
I believe what they mean is the city limits of the great city of Detroit.
Oh.
An hour.
4 hours.
Okay, so hold on. What's the southern border of Sterling Heights? Does anybody know?
Let's pretend like we're trying to get from southern border of Sterling Heights to 8 Mile. Let's just lay it out specifically.
That's 14 mile to 8 miles, 6 miles. So horse-drawn carriage, maybe do a mile an hour, 6 hours.
They go quicker than that.
They go quicker than that?
Yeah.
3, 2.
I'd say about a half an hour then.
I'm giving it to Dan at 6 because it says here it would take just about half a day's travel. But what does that mean? So
yeah, half of my day or half of
daylight.
Or a vole. What? I mean,
maybe you know what?
What were these horses?
The horses could have been good, but the roads could be terrible.
Maybe
they have muddy potholed roads.
Yeah, when Shaner was just a goat path.
Yeah.
What I was thinking is a big political advertisement for Judge Augustus Woodward. Fix the darn roads.
Yeah. Mike Morris represents. Oh.
This European-born First World War veteran, artist, and author of the Madeline book series was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. Who was he?
Oh, criminy. Oh, the silence is deafening again.
It is.
Oh, dear Lord. I was gonna say Jimmy Doolittle, but then all of a sudden you threw all those other adjectives, and I'm thrown now.
I don't think I read those books.
Yeah, it sounds like he was born Austrian.
Okay. So was I in a previous life. That still doesn't help.
Initials LB. Last clue.
LB.
Lewis. Lawrence.
Lester.
Think Beethoven with that L.
Ludwig. And the
I thought that would be the key moment. Ludwig Bemelmans was the name of the author of the Madeline books. And this is just the way the world works, folks, proving once again that it's who you know and not what you know. He had done very poorly in school and was working at his uncle's hotel in Austria. And he had found out that the Kennedy presidential family really enjoyed the books. Caroline really loved the books. So he was requested to write a special story where Madeline visited the White House. Yada, yada, yada. He's buried in Arlington National Cemetery.
Lucky dope.
That's all that it takes. That's all that it takes.
But you know what? If his initials are LB and his name does not appear in It's the End of the World as You Know It by REM, how famous can he be, really?
Nice.
Small potatoes.
In what year was the worst overall tornado outbreak in U.S. history? According to Wikipedia, the tri-state outbreak, which covered Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, slew almost 700 people. What year was that?
Just a couple of years ago?
It wasn't.
Jim Tubbs, he just showed up. So
1880s, was it?
It was a little more recent than that, but don't think too recent. Basically, just about 100 years ago.
1932.
Sure.
I was going to say when housing was probably not well constructed, and that may be the reason why so many people died.
So I'm going to throw 1925 out there.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah. Strawberries are one of the only fruits, professors, to have seeds on the outside of the fruit.
True.
On average, how many seeds does the average strawberry have on the outside of its skin?
Oh, you think we're just going to settle for
174?
Oh, I heard Mara's 80. It's higher than 80.
120.
I'd say about 1,000.
It's 1,000 is you're off by an order of magnitude, unfortunately.
Or 15.
100?
100.
It says here that it's 200 on average, 200 seeds per strawberry.
Like we only eat average strawberries here, right? Not a chance. Only the best for us, right?
Glad to have you with us, Jim.
Hello.
No, and you're quiet.
He's late.
That's all right.
No, Jim, you're just not early. That's all.
Oh, okay. I'm just not early.
Yeah, we don't want to be referring to you as the late Jim Tubbs. That's all.
No,
that's
not
right.
yet. Not yet.
We always go the Tolkien route here, Jim. You're like a wizard. You arrive precisely when you mean to.
No. Today that was not the case.
We're doing some off-the-wall questions here, including this one, which I have never heard before. Nadia's theme was an instrumental piece used as background music in a montage honoring Olympian Nadia Comaneci, but is also, of course, the theme music for what TV show?
The Young and the Restless.
The Young and the Restless. That's right. Well, that is weird, man.
And that was one of the two most popular soap operas at the time of the '76 Olympics when Nadia Comaneci was performing.
I remember watching her get all of those 10s when she did.
Yep.
I think in '73 it was actually a top 40 hit because I was listening to on the XM 70s channel. They play the old Casey Kasem top 40 countdowns, and I listened to the one for like the week I was born, and I think that was on there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was a very popular piece of music, and it's a nice piano theme.
I used to be a diehard Casey Kasem top 40 listener too.
Oh yes, who wasn't? Last one, professors, and boy, is this one off the wall, but that's what makes it fun. In Japan, this food item is popular with children and sometimes packed into their bento lunch boxes. It has a name that's not what it is. What is
Gristle.
the item? What was gristle?
Gristle.
That's not what it says here, Dave.
Angst. Liquid angst.
Let me put it this way. It's called something sausage. The something is an animal that the sausage is not made out of, but the sausage is cut a certain way so that it looks like that animal for the children.
Okay, I got it.
Panda sausage.
Cat sausage.
It's not cat.
What,
like into slices? So it's going to be like a round disc?
Wait, was this the one with the faces on it?
I don't know if I can reveal much more than I already have.
No, is this like you cut in little slices, you see faces all along the length of the sausage? Is that the one?
No, this is a very specific way to cut something, and I suppose there is one more clue. It's a long shot. About 15 maybe years ago, maybe a little bit more, there was an attempt to make this popular in the United States using the United States national food, the hot dog, and it would cut your hot dog to look like this animal in sort of one foomp.
Octopus.
A dachshund.
Octopus is correct.
Octopus.
Yes, octopus sausage.
Like-
Yes.
Okay.
It would cut down from the top and splay out the sides, so they look like little tentacles, and then it would,
Oh, I
have a little
see.
head on the
All
top
I
of it.
can't
so-
imagine that being too popular.
No.
Well, the kids love it in Japan, Jim. They really do.
They love a lot of things. Yeah. Hello, Kitty.
Godzilla,
That's right. That's right.
Mothra.
Mhm. Professors, the time has come to ponder another imponderable. We almost were going to imponder a ponderable there. That wouldn't have made much sense. What, broadly speaking, is your favorite amusement park ride that you've been on?
The Raptor at Cedar Point.
And why not?
It would have
A
to be
classic. A
super
classic.
big, fast.
Kind of fond of the
Roller
Magnum
coaster.
2000 still.
Yep.
I like sitting in the back car and get lifted out of my seat, when you go over the first hump.
Mm-hmm. Get some air.
Yeah, get some air.
As long as the seatbelt's working, sure.
The Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark ride at Disneyland wasn't bad, but I'll go with the Matterhorn classic
That's a classic. Absolute classic.
at Disneyland, obviously.
That's a good one.
Yep. And since you're up in that corner, I'll just throw my hat in, surprising no one. Pick your version of the Haunted Mansion, and I'll ride it about 17 straight times. So special place in my heart for the one in Florida, but I've been to the one in Norland Square at Disneyland. And it's actually very cool too. So.
Okay, Chow Man, what's your favorite?
Okay, I've got
Canadian
two. The Gemini at Cedar Point.
Of course.
Now I rode that at the end of the day when there's no lines. I just rode it for like the last half hour, just nonstop, just get off and just jump back on. It was between that or the Back to the Future ride at Universal.
Oh yeah, also defunct.
Now here's the thing: I had a friend that worked there, so she said, "You ride car number 5." And there's certain points during the ride you can actually stand up and look and see the other cars in the ride.
Oh, weird.
Oh.
So I had the behind the scenes tour of Universal back in the day. And I went on, was it Halloween? So not only, the Haunted Mansion, some of the things that they did in there were absolutely amazing because they brought in all the stunt people to do some of the dirty work in there.
That's cool.
So pretty
Very cool.
interesting.
Now, the Cyclone at Coney Island is still a great.
That's a good one.
Also classic.
Ancient,
Does anybody?
but good.
Okay, now old Detroit school. Does anybody remember the Wild Mouse at Edgewater?
Oh my gosh, Edgewater Park.
I grew
That's
up 2
going
blocks
back.
away from there, so
Yep.
I used to sneak down the Rouge River to get in. Oh, oops.
There was a
When I
small
hear,
roller coaster on Boblo. I remember
Yeah.
that.
Pablo, yeah.
Boblo, sure. Jim, when I hear Gemini and Cyclone, I do have a soft spot in my heart for wooden coasters.
I do
So that
too.
your brains come out like scrambled
I do
eggs
too.
at the end.
They
so.
rattle you to death. But
Yeah,
they're
the Mean
great.
Streak at
Mean
Cedar
Streak.
Point was great.
Yeah.
That's been closed down. That was
Yeah.
good.
Forever, yeah.
Man,
what
I
about Jeff?
can't
Have we heard
take
from you?
wooden.
So, I was going to say, back where I grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania, there's a Waldemere Park, which is still there today, but it has a Wacky Shack, which was built by I think the original one was built there, and there were several more built, but the one around in other parks, but the one at Waldemere is still up and running.
Hold on, what is it again?
The Wacky Shack.
Explain.
So if you're in Greece, in the final scene in Greece, what is the name of the funhouse that they're in?
What?
Oh.
Not like the tilting thing, is it?
That's
Is that
Yeah,
what
true,
you're
so it's not the same, but it reminds me of
Mhm.
that.
Sure.
But
Sure.
anyway, it's been there for many decades.
So wait a minute. Do we hear from Jeff?
I don't know if we did. However, his picture is gone quite still, so I'm not sure what he's up to.
Oh, I'm there. I was just waiting to get in.
Oh,
I'm blanking on the name of the Florida amusement park, the one that has the Harry Potter stuff in it.
Of course.
Is that
Universal?
Is that Universal as
Is
well?
that Universal? Okay.
Yep.
probably.
That's awesome.
My kids loved the MIB ride in that one. That's their favorite. We went on that 4 times.
Wow. Very cool. I love how everybody sort of just had a reasonable, thing right on the tip of their tongue. That's very cool. However, that little jingle you heard in the background is my phone saying it's time for us to say goodbye. Dave,
See ya.
Beth,
Bye.
Mara,
Bye.
Dave.
Again.
Bye-bye.
Dan, Jim,
Bye.
and Jeff.
Happy to be your source of amusement.
And now these words from University of Detroit Mercy.
Ask the Professor is transcribed in, all of our homes, but usually it's in the Briggs Building in the Department of Communication Studies in the College of Liberal Arts and Education at University of Detroit Mercy's McNichols campus. Ask the Professor is produced and technically directed by Michael Jason and Brian Masonville, and our executive producer is Professor Jason Roach. Until next week, I'm your host, Matt Mio.